Disney Princess Beauties in Bloom. Here is Snow White. What a beautiful, lovely spring morning, exclaimed Snow White with a smile. The sun was shining and the birds were singing, and the sweet smell of flowers filled the air. It's a perfect day for a walk in the woods, Snow White told her forest friends. Together, they headed off to enjoy the many sights and scents of spring. Before long, Snow White and her friends came upon a field of tulips swaying in the breeze. "Oh, I must pick just a few," the young princess said as she stopped to admire the flowers. When her basket was filled with flowers, Snow White continued into the woods. Suddenly she heard a sound. "Quack, quack, quack." "Why, it's a mother duck and her little duckling," said Snow White. Snow White giggled, and she watched the baby ducks drink and splash in the flowing stream. "The dwarfs will certainly be thirsty when they return home from work," she said. "Perhaps I should bring them some cool water." When her pitcher was full, Snow White stood up. She spotted a perfect gooseberry bush across the stream. "These berries are so ripe and sweet," said the pleased princess as she began to pick them. "Oh dear, my basket is filled to the brim," said Snow White. "It's time to head back to the cottage." As soon as she walked home, Snow White smiled. "What's the perfect way to end this perfect spring day?" she wondered. When the dwarfs came home from work that afternoon, they found a wonderful surprise. A picnic! Snow White and friends shared stories about their day over a freshly covered baked gooseberry pie. It was the perfect day to end a lovely spring day. Next we have Cinderella. Well, spring had arrived, and it was time for Cinderella to take care of the family garden. Pulling the weeds and planting seeds wasn't much fun, but Cinderella always enjoyed being outside near the sweet-smelling flowers and budding plants. While Cinderella worked, her stepsisters were busy preparing for the Princess Royal Ball. "I look so pretty in my new spring bonnet," said Drizella. "I will win the prince's heart when he sees me in this." "In mine," cried Anastasia. Cinderella watched as her stepsisters climbed into their carriage. "I wish I could go to the royal garden party too," she told Gus and Jack sadly. "But I have too much work to do." Gus and Jack wanted to do something to make Cinderella feel better, and with the help of the other animals, they made her a simple, special surprise out of an old straw hat. "My very own spring bonnet," Cinderella cheered. "Oh, it's just beautiful." After finishing all her chores, Cinderella spent the rest of her day enjoying the wonders of the garden. "Look how the bumblebees buzz from flower to flower," she said to the mice. Then Cinderella spotted a baby robin on the grass. "Aw, poor little thing, I'll get you home," she said. Cinderella gently placed the baby bird in its nest. Suddenly, clouds filled the sky and rain began to fall. It was a spring shower. Cinderella, Gus, and Jack danced in the warm rain and splashed in the puddles. They watched the beads of water roll off the flowers and decorate a beautiful spider web. It was such fun. Well, when the rain had stopped, Cinderella heard her stepsisters returning from the party. They were wet and covered in mud. "Well, that was the worst party ever," exclaimed Gisela. "The prince didn't even notice me," cried Anastasia. "And worst of all, my hat is ruined." As the clouds passed and the sun came back, a beautiful rainbow filled the sky. "Well, I guess my wish came true," Cinderella told Gus and Jack with a smile. That truly was the best garden party ever.